The bunny rabbit's defense is his vipassana, or his ability to relax himself and become the environment. At that point, essentially, there's no more bunny rabbit, there's just the environment. The bunny rabbit has melted himself and become the environment, and he does this to survive. I mean, without that, he has nothing, no way of protecting himself from predators. But once he does that, once he relaxes into the environment and becomes the environment, then he's invulnerable. Nothing can ever touch him. Nothing can ever reach him. If a coyote were to poke his nose from the trees into the field, it's immediately sensed by the bunny rabbit, who has become the environment. Every breath of air, every tiny sound, every wave of vibrations of any sort, any consciousness of any sort is his consciousness as well. So we're like that bunny rabbit. We're defenseless, really. We are defenseless against the winds of fate and the winds of karma, and our only real, well, I mean, we can be a warrior, we can have good alignment, put a good face on things, but if we don't relax and become the environment, then we don't know things, we don't know, and we have not become who we really are. And to the extent you relax yourself, is automatic. If you relax, automatically you become the environment. It's 100% one-to-one. Your vipassana is equal to your relaxation. To say you relax, you're resting your mind in space, like you're supposed to. To the extent that you're tense, it's impossible. You've withdrawn into this little shell. That's where you think your happy place is, but it's just your cocoon, which can only lead to misery. Why is that so? Because Trungpa says, you keep putting these layers on, that make you feel like you're safe, but then you get it all pasted together, and then you decide you want to dance, you want to move, but you can't move, you can't dance. So you're like, you're in hell. So then somehow, you're kind of a real problem. So, we want to move, we want to dance, so we got to practice Vipassana. We got to step out of our little safe area and go out into the woods, go out into the dangerous things. We got to work with this trauma we got, we got to do it. We got to be brave. So anyway, we're St. George, and we're calling this dragon to come out of his cave, So he's in the cave. And we got to get him to come out of the cave, So we're like the goddess of the great eastern sun talking to our little self in there in the cave. The story of the goddess of the great eastern sun is a wonderful story. I might probably tell it here in a minute or two. I don't know. So, Shakespeare. So we're kind of tuning ourselves into this dragon, and we're becoming a dragon whisperer. St. George is becoming a dragon whisperer. And maybe we misunderstood the meaning of this dragon. Maybe this dragon is our true self. Well, right now we see as the horrible dragon is really our true self, Kind of calling to us and from this cave, but we gotta. Anyway, in the St. George story, we gotta do alignment, we gotta do relaxation, then we gotta do resilience. This resilience is this Shakespeare aspect where It's a spiral, right? It's a spiral. The sphere is our spiral. We're moving in a spiral. We're moving. We're not frozen. We're not a frozen piece of wood. We're singing a song. We're working with vibrations. We're working with tone. I guess I'll give a talk about tone. We're working with our tone here. There's either a tone of bliss and emptiness going on here, or there's a tone of a little bit of aggression or a lot of aggression. Usually it's kind of hard for us to see it. Actually, that's what that tension is, but we don't see it. And the reason we have that tension is so we don't see it. It makes us numb to what's going on. It makes us numb to what tone do we have? What level of aggression do we carry with us all the time? Is there a tone of bliss and emptiness out there somewhere we encounter, maybe in our dream, or maybe when we have a good meditation, we encounter this tone of bliss and emptiness. But we kind of don't get the contrast. We're not sensitive enough to know our tone. We don't know what our tone is. And that's all you got to do, is you just got to know what your tone is. Know the tone. So that's what we're doing when we call this dragon. We know the tone. We're able to slowly shift our tone from one of aggression, trying to go out and kill that dragon, which ain't going to work, to calling that dragon and harmonizing ourselves, calling that dragon to come out to us. And that dragon comes up our spear. He wakes up, he hears our song, he gets interested. We have called him, and he climbs up our spear. You know, and in the East, the dragon's a whole different ballgame than in the West, you know. In the East, the dragon is the highest wisdom. The dragon is the highest thing you could achieve, is his wisdom. So it turns out the dragon is our true nature as it comes up our spear. And then it changes into the maiden. We win the maiden, but the dragon was the maiden. Our true nature is the dragon changing into the maiden. The maiden is our true self. That's our true self. Oh, hell. I gotta write down these numbers because I go over time-wise. Bad. Oh man, I'm completely lost now. Let's see. So the idea we was talking about trauma, but maybe we've moved on to something else. I don't know where we are. Resilience. So I think we were going to talk about resilience. Alignment. Everything I've been talking about to now has pretty much been alignment. Everything I've been talking about up to now has pretty much been relaxation. How that applies to mindfulness, how that applies to meditation. Synchronization of body and mind. Curing the split between body and mind. Mind being over here and body being over here, all frozen. And that's the whole point of being frozen. Because that's how the ego wants to organize it. Stay away from that fucking dragon. Pardon my French. So then the third aspect is resilience. I don't know, I've been afraid of resilience, I think. Well, I think we're all afraid of resilience. I'm traumatized, I'm just frozen, man. I spend 99.999% of my energy trying to stay frozen. Trump originally called it perching. You're not really resting on the earth, you're perched. Your feet are grabbing the branch and you're just holding on for dear life. You just don't know how to rest on the earth. He contrasted it to sitting bull. The image for the human being is, he says, sitting bull, which is this resting on the earth. It's very dignified and kind of immobile, but not in a bad way at all. But he's just heavy. It's like the mountain. Sometimes we say be like a mountain, you want to be like a mountain. Well, Sitting Bull's like a mountain. Some of these gurus feel like a mountain, they're just solid. They're not flighty, and they're not perched on the earth. They're resting dignified on the earth. So, resilience, I explained this before, but I'll explain it again. Here's how Will Johnson describes resilience. And he was trained, in a different meditation system. That's part of the whole resistance I had was, this is a different way of meditating, and we meditate like this, and that's all different. But I don't believe that so much anymore. I think there's a commonality, I think, I think I've been to Mahamudra programs where we practice this way as a Mahamudra exercise, and psychologists introduced a lot of new stuff in Shambhala meditation. I haven't gotten exactly all of it, but I think what he's talking about is learning to feel things. So he's talking about the same thing. I think maybe he doesn't talk about it quite the same way. I don't know. He's not a big body guy. I don't know. My impression anyway. Not most people aren't, he is a big body guy in a certain way, but he doesn't talk all the time endlessly like I do about body, meditation. I don't know. But, if you read his running book, which I haven't, maybe he does, there, I don't know.